This house has been through several generations, and with each one, more things got added, tucked away, stored, just in case. A teacup from Grandma, a drawer full of old school reports, clothes that belong to someone who doesn't live here anymore. So it's not surprising that over time, the space started to feel heavy. And not just physically. There were corners I avoided, boxes I never opened, cabinets I didn't dare touch because everything in them felt like it belonged to someone else, or to a version of me I used to be. But the hardest part wasn't the amount of stuff. It was the weight of the stories attached to them. Who they used to belong to, what they used to mean, whether I had the right to let them go. For a long time, I thought I was being respectful by keeping it all. I thought letting go meant forgetting or being ungrateful. But what I've learned slowly, carefully, is that honoring someone doesn't always mean keeping their things. And that peace in a home often begins with making space for the life you're living now. In this video, I'll share 7 small but powerful ways I started clearing out more than just objects. I started clearing emotional weight. If you've ever felt trapped by what's sitting quietly on your shelves, this might be a good place to start. Let's start with one of the hardest categories to make peace with inherited items. There's a kind of clutter that's not really clutter until it starts pressing on you. For me, it was the cabinet above the stove. Tucked inside were my grandmother's dishes, a full set cream with gold trim, carefully wrapped in paper towels and stored like treasure. She had given them to me years ago, right before she moved into assisted living. I remember her saying, "I want you to have these." They were always my favorite. At the time, I smiled and said thank you. I took them home and I never used them. Not once. They didn't match anything in my kitchen. I was always afraid to chip them. And truthfully, they weren't my taste. I like simple white plates. No gold, no fuss. But those dishes stayed, year after year, because how could I let go of something that was hers? I didn't keep them because I loved them. I kept them because I was afraid that letting them go would mean I didn't love her. That's what makes inherited things so heavy. It's not just the object, it's the story, the guilt, the memory of someone we don't want to lose. But here's what I've learned. Keeping something out of guilt is not the same as honoring someone. When I finally took those dishes down, I was shaking a little. I unwrapped each one, ran my hands over the edges, and I said out loud, "Thank you. You were beautiful, and you were loved. But I don't need you to remember her." I kept one teacup, just one. It's on a small shelf now, next to a photo of her laughing in the garden. That's the memory I wanted. The rest I gave to someone who actually loved vintage dishes. And for the first time in years, that cabinet is empty. I use it now to store the baking tools I actually reach for every week. And every time I open it, I feel something I hadn't felt in that spot for a long time: relief. If there's something in your home that belonged to someone you love, but it doesn't serve your life, now you have permission to thank it and let it go. You're not throwing away a person. You're making space for your present life, and that's something no one who loved you would ever want to stand in the way of. Tomorrow, I'll share more gentle but practical tips that helped me clear out over 600 items, not all at once, but little by little in ways that felt manageable and real. See you then. Next, let's talk about the things we used to need every day but no longer fit our life. There was a pair of family swim bags we used constantly when the kids were little. Big canvas totes faded from the sun with sandy zippers and mesh pockets that used to carry sunscreen goggles, snacks, spare clothes, you name it. Those bags were part of our summers. We'd grab them without thinking. Everything we needed for a day at the pool or beach was already inside. But as the kids got older, we stopped needing them in the same way. We moved on to backpack smaller pouches, more intentional packing. Yet, the old swim bags were still sitting on the shelf in our storage room, overstuffed, slouched over, filled with random swim gear from years ago. I kept them because they reminded me of something sweet, little feet running on hot pavement floaties laughter. But the bags themselves, they weren't useful anymore. In fact, they made things harder. They took up space. They were always overflowing. Every time I needed sunscreen or a towel, I had to dig through layers of tangled goggles, broken clips, and half-used bottles of something expired. One day I asked myself, if I saw this bag in a thrift store today, would I buy it? And the answer was immediate no, so I let them go. I pulled out what we still use. I donated what still had life in it. And I recycled the rest. Now that shelf holds 3 clear bins, one for towels, one for sunscreen and swim gear, one for backup clothes. I can see everything. I can grab what we need. Nothing is spilling out, and more importantly, I don't walk into that space and feel overwhelmed anymore. So if there's a once useful item in your home, a bag, a bin, a basket that now only reminds you of what life used to look like, ask yourself, does this still serve me today? If not, it might be time to thank it and set it down for good. Let's talk about the things we keep for later, but not for ourselves. When I started doing a deeper declutter, what some people call Swedish death cleaning, I knew I had to face the bins. 3 large Rubbermaid tubs packed tight, one labeled baby and toddler, one for school projects, and one for art and cards. Each one full of things I thought my kids would want someday. Little outfits I couldn't bear to part with. Drawings I found on the kitchen floor years ago and couldn't throw out. Birthday cards they made for me with backwards letters and stickers on every inch. Even broken toys that meant something at one point. I had been guarding these bins like they were treasure for years. I thought one day they'll thank me for keeping this. So I did something I hadn't tried before. I sat down with each child one at a time and we opened the bins together. And you know what surprised me most? They didn't want almost any of it. Some things got a laugh. Some got a soft, "Oh, I remember this." But most things got a shrug or a polite, "You can let that go, Mom." It was eye-opening. I had held on to all this because of what I felt, not what they needed. We ended up keeping just a handful of truly meaningful pieces. The rest we recycled, took photos of, or said goodbye to. The result, those 3 giant bins are now just one, and I can reach it easily. No more digging behind stacks, no more needing my husband to help pull it down. When my kids ask, "Can I see my old stuff?" I can actually say yes. And more than that, I feel lighter, because I'm no longer storing a version of the past that only I was holding on to. So if you've saved everything for your kids, try asking them. You might be surprised by what they say, and by how much lighter your storage room will feel afterward. Now let's talk about the items that tug at your heart, but trip you up in real life. For me, it was the old swim bags. We used them for years when the kids were small, bright blue canvas full of zippered pockets and sunscreen stains. Every trip to the pool or beach, they were there. We could pack them with our eyes closed. Towels, snacks, goggles, floaties, backup clothes, all of it. Those bags were summer. Even after we stopped using them, I kept them, tucked on the top shelf of our storage room. And every time I opened that door, I saw them slumped over, overflowing, full of tangled straps and faded swimsuits. At first, I thought they were still useful. But the truth was, they weren't. They were bulky, messy, awkward to reach. Every time I needed to grab sunscreen or a towel, I had to wrestle with those bags. Things were jammed in hard to find half-used. It made simple tasks feel unnecessarily hard. But what made it really hard to let them go wasn't the mess. It was the memories. I could still see my youngest running barefoot on hot concrete, hear the sound of laughter and splashing, feel the weight of the bag on my shoulder and the warmth of those long afternoons. It felt like getting rid of the bags meant getting rid of that version of life. But I had to ask myself, am I keeping this because it's helpful or because I'm scared to let go of who we used to be? That's when I realized the memories don't live in the bag. They live in me. So I opened them up, pulled out what we still needed, let go of what didn't. Now, instead of 2 bulky bags, I have 3 simple bins, one for towels, one for sunscreen and gear, and one for extra swim clothes. Everything is easy to find, easy to use, no digging, no frustration. And when I walk into that storage space now, I don't feel overwhelmed. I feel calm. If you're holding on to something just because we used to use this all the time, ask yourself, is this helping me today? If not, it's okay to thank it and move forward. Let's move into the closet and talk about clothes that quietly wear us down. There was a jacket I owned for over 2 years. It was beautiful, a soft suede with dramatic faux fur cuffs. Every time I looked at it, I thought, wow, this is stunning. But I never wore it, not once. I'd pull it out, try it on, admire it in the mirror, then take it off, every single time. It felt like too much, too fancy. Not me, but I kept it anyway, because someday I might wear it. Then one afternoon, while I was sorting through my closet, my daughter walked in. She saw the jacket and asked, "Do you even like wearing that?" I paused and finally said I like looking at it, but no, I never actually wear it. She shrugged and said, "Then why keep it?" That moment stayed with me. Because the truth is, clothes should make you feel like yourself, not like some version of you think you should be. After I let that jacket go, I found another one simpler, cozier, still with a bit of fun. And the moment I brought it home, I cut off the tag and wore it out that very night. That's when I realized something. If you wear it the day you bring it home, it belongs. If it keeps sitting there untouched, maybe it doesn't. And sometimes the problem isn't even the style, it's the color. There were tops in my closet I kept avoiding even though they technically fit. Until one day I tried something simple. I held them up near my face in natural light. And I saw it, some colors made me look tired, washed out. Others made me feel bright, pulled together like me. Turns out I'm a winter jewel tones, rich colors, pale pastels. Not so much. So now when I shop or edit my closet, I use that as a guide. Because when a piece of clothing feels good and looks right, you naturally reach for it. And that means less standing in front of the closet saying, "I have nothing to wear." If there are pieces you keep avoiding, try this. Hold them up to your face in daylight. Ask yourself how they make you feel. And remember, if it doesn't make you feel like your favorite version of yourself, you don't have to keep it. Let's talk about the kind of decluttering that doesn't require a free weekend, a storage system, or emotional strength you don't have right now. Just 5 minutes, maybe less. When I first started decluttering, I thought I had to set aside a full day to do it right, but every time I tried, I'd end up surrounded by piles, overwhelmed, and somehow more exhausted than when I started. So I stopped trying to be dramatic about it. Instead, I did something tiny. I got rid of one thing. That was it, one chipped mug I didn't like anyway. The next day, I tossed 2 random socks I had no match for. Day 3, a broken spatula, an expired lotion, and a pair of leggings that hadn't fit in 3 years. What I was doing without realizing, it was starting the 30-day declutter. Here's how it works. On day 1, you let go of 1 item, day 2, 2 items, day 3, 3 items, and so on until you reach day 30. I know, it sounds simple, almost too simple, but that's why it works. It's like a slow build. You ease in, no overwhelm, no pressure, and by the time you hit day 10, you've already let go of 55 things with barely a dent in your time or energy. One day, I walked into my garage and noticed this sad, dusty shelf full of old plant pots. I used to love gardening, but now, most of them were cracked, mismatched, or just sitting there in case. It was day 13, so I grabbed 13 of them, took a quick photo, and posted it in my neighborhood chat. Within an hour, someone messaged me, "I love plants, can I come get them?" She did. And she was thrilled, and me. I was smiling like I just cleaned out a whole room because in a way I had. That's the secret of this method. It's not about doing it all. It's about doing just enough to feel a little more in control every single day. By day 30, I had let go of over 400 items. No drama, no full-day cleanouts, just a growing sense of space on my shelves and in my mind. And here's the best part. After 30 days, I didn't want to stop, because I finally trusted myself to decide what mattered and what didn't. So if you've been staring at a room thinking I don't even know where to begin here. One thing. That's it. Tomorrow, maybe two. Before you know it, you're not decluttering anymore. You're just living lighter. Let's end with something that hides quietly in so many closets, the someday version of ourselves. I had this green dress. Silky low back to soft shimmer in the fabric that caught the light just enough to feel special. I bought it during a moment of inspiration, standing in a little boutique thinking, this would be perfect for that wedding I'll be invited to, or a dinner out, or maybe that concert I've been meaning to go to. It wasn't just a dress, it was a daydream. I pictured myself walking into a room in it, confident, put together, like the version of me who had time to plan outfits, who went out more, who felt at ease in something bold and a little dramatic. But here's the truth, I never wore it. Not once. It hung in my closet for over 2 years, and every time I tried it on, I'd hesitate, I'd tug at it, I'd think, not today, maybe next time, but next time never came. Because that dress wasn't for the real me, the one who reaches for soft sweaters and jeans, who likes to feel comfortable, grounded, and still beautiful. That dress belonged to someone I thought I'd become, not someone I actually was. And holding on to it didn't bring me any closer to that version. In fact, it quietly made me feel like I wasn't enough yet, like I had to somehow earn the right to wear it. So one day I let it go. And a few weeks later, I found another dress. It wasn't dramatic, it didn't shimmer, but it made me feel like myself, calm, confident, lovely in a quiet way. And I wore it the day I brought it home. No occasion, no hesitation, just joy. That was the moment I realized the clothes that belong in your life don't make you feel like you have to become someone else. They fit who you are now, not who you might be later. So here's something gentle to try. Go to your closet. Pick one piece you keep telling yourself, maybe for that trip, or that event, or when I lose weight, or when life slows down. And ask, is this who I am, or is this who I thought I'd have to become to feel worthy? Letting go of that outfit doesn't mean letting go of hope. It means making space for clothes that love you back now. You don't need to be thinner, bolder, more social, or more organized to deserve beautiful things. You already are enough. And you deserve a wardrobe that reminds you of that every single day. If you've made it this far, take a deep breath with me. None of these tips were about chasing a perfect home. They were about something much simpler, making your space feel more livable for the person you are today. Not for the past version of you, not for the version you think you should be someday, just you right now. Because clutter isn't just physical. Sometimes it's the weight of stories we've told ourselves for too long, like maybe I'll need this, or they might want it later, or this is who I thought I'd be. Letting go doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It simply means you're ready to make space for the life you're actually living. If even one of these tips made you stop and think, yes, that's what I needed, then you've already started. You're already moving toward lighter days. Tomorrow, I'll share more quiet, practical tips that help you clear space without pressure, starting with one drawer that might be stealing more of your time and energy than you realize. And if this video brought you even a small sense of calm, I'd love for you to subscribe or just come back again. You deserve a home that feels like it's on your side. Let's keep building that together, one thoughtful step at a time.